So yesterday we had CPI come out, and end of the day, we beat the expectations. 3.1 was the expectation. We came in at 3. So overall, this was bullish news within the market. But we know how they like to manipulate on the shorter time frames. So what we ended up having was a small little push up, end up getting a lot of people FOMOing into the market. They send it down, liquidate the longs, and therefore we paid attention to where the market bounced. And as you could see on this wedge that I spoke about it on Twitter, and I spoke about it 2 days ago. And ultimately, we came straight back down and we bounced perfectly on support. So yet again, another day, Bitcoin surviving and holding the $30,000 level. So this is obviously a big thing for us to know that we still hold the support line. But what's obviously very interesting at the moment was great bounce, good bounce, still indicating a higher low over here. But what we are starting to see is we're seeing a little bit of a pullback within dominance for the day, and we're starting to see a little bit of altcoins being released. So one thing that we got to pay attention to, and I want to speak about it quite a bit in the show, is that we do have quite a strong lower high within the dominance. And as you could see, it's made its way to the upside, but it has rejected at the 618. And what this usually indicates is it does indicate that there should be another leg to the downside. Now, guys, is this the moment where just before we get strength within Bitcoin to make the breakout to 35, maybe they want a quick altcoin catch-up? They want an Ethereum catch-up. They want an altcoin catch-up. Get the total market cap to that major resistance. And then when Bitcoin breaks that major level, you have a whole market explosion. So it's very important to pay attention now that because we're having the Bitcoin push to the upside, so I can jump here to the Bitcoin chart, you see a green candle right now, and then you go to the dominance, and you see a red candle at the moment. And therefore, look at MATIC. Boom. We called it literally perfect at 69 cents. There goes MATIC. I'm starting to see now, all of a sudden, we're starting to get a short-term push from Fantom. Today, I'm looking at giving you guys a trade within Fantom. I think Fantom's got a lot of growth to the upside. I think Render's got a lot of growth to the upside. I think Chainlink's waking up. And all of a sudden, we look at the bubbles, and we're starting to have quite a good day within the market. So if Bitcoin decides to stay between 30,000 and 31,000, but we have a dominance collapse, great. We're finally waiting for altcoins to get to levels where we think they belong. But ultimately, we're still here. We still remain bullish. And if this plays out as what I'm thinking it's going to play out, I think we are going to have an altcoin explosion. I don't think it's all altcoins, but that's why we're going to pay attention to the altcoins breaking the major levels. No more wasting time. Let's get into the show.
Click. Have you heard the news? What? With his finger on the pulse, it's like Sheldon knew. Click. When the sniper shoots, we got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter 𝗿𝗿𝗄𝗧. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. So enter the sniper, click. Time to be dedicated, sniper mode is activated. Explosions in the market are in target, and Sheldon demonstrates. Mirror on the wall, Master Sheldon tell us all. We got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter 𝗿𝗿𝗄𝗧. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. Enter the sniper, click. Enter the sniper.
Santa fam, hope you're having a fantastic day so far. A little bit of a green day. I'm glad we bounced yesterday. I was concerned again of Bitcoin coming down to 30,000. I'm like, please hold. And reason being is we are basically forming a very important pattern for Bitcoin. Not only are we at the major resistance of 31,000, that for me separates bear market to bull market, we are also forming a pattern where we've had this good push up, and now we're trending sideways. And you basically have the 31,500 and you have the 29,600. And either way that we break should be the direction. Now, if we do lose the $29,600 level, it does mean a Bart Simpson can play out, which ultimately means there can be a move back to 26,000. And that's why we've been zooming in and paying attention. But if we obviously break to the upside, this could finally be the rally that moves all the way to 35, maybe even 40. The longer we stay here, the higher we go, in my opinion. So if we stay here for another few more days, I think 40, 45 becomes now the actual targets. Because what you got to understand about crypto is you're always going to have a fast moving direction, like either very strong up, very strong down. But when it gets to a certain point, it slows down and it starts to accumulate. And ultimately, as long as your accumulation usually creates the results. So when you have a good period of a token that's been going sideways for months, you'll see when that token finally pumps or finally does something, it really has a big move to the upside. And I'll actually bring you guys up a quick example of it, as it's been doing really well. And I spoke about it in November. Is this Nakamoto token over here? You could basically see how a coin that can go sideways for a while. Let's actually go back. Look at that. Sideways, 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 sideways. Accumulation builds up. All of a sudden, look at the result. Boom. All of a sudden, look at the result. You see what it does. So what you're going to start to learn in crypto is you're going to start to appreciate sideways, because, you know, sideways is basically the middle. You know, you had a move before it, where it was maybe a big dump, goes sideways for a while, and then the pump. So if you've now stepped into a token, or you've stepped into you know, any crypto token, and it's just come down 90% and it's been going down for a while, you're going to be very interested in that token now, because you're finally looking at it differently. A lot of people will look at it and say this token's dead, where ultimately it's in accumulation phase. And after that, you know what starts to come next. You start to get the ramp that starts to move to the upside. So again, you know, any time frame that you may be on, you're going to see this on all time frames. You're going to see the same market cycle play out. And what I was speaking about previously is, look at this now. So we had a pump from Bitcoin. We had a breakout of 27,000. Therefore, we ended up going to 31,500. And now we are forming that pattern, guys. So remember, we got two ways that this plays out. We have the first way, price went up, it makes this, and we have the 𝗵𝗏, where as quick as it went up is as quickly as it comes down the other side. And ultimately, if that had to play out, it means Bitcoin back to these areas. And that's why I paid attention to yesterday's low that came in. And you can see what I'm doing now is because I have these two horizontals. I have this one over here, which is indicating support. And I have this one over here, which is indicating resistance. Okay. I'm zooming in slightly before that even by putting in trend lines to see, okay, I want to see which one are we going to go test first, because I'm at that thought process now that at some point, one of these levels are going to break. And the amount of tests, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 tests to the upside, and we've had 1, 2, 3 tests to the downside. So for me, at some point, one of them are going to give. And that's why I've put this major trend in. Now let's zoom into this trend and let's have a look of what it's actually forming. You know, show the 𝗵𝗏. Let me just show you the other pattern just before we have heart attacks. What do you mean just 𝗵𝗏, Sheldon? It goes up, second pattern goes up, and bull flag. So that's the bullish pattern. So you can see over here, we've come up, we formed this now. This is the next scenario that can play out at any moment. And why we think this leg can be so big, because ultimately it's a weekly breakout. And you can have levels tested that we have not tested in a very long time, which is the 35, which is the 40. Which means if you are here right now, it means you are still falling in the bear market territory. Therefore means you are still falling under the smart money category, which is good. As soon as we get above that line and we start going 35, 40,000, you start getting the latecomers, you start getting the retail, and you always want to be in before them and selling into them. And that's the big thing. You're either buying or selling into them, but they are the ones that you use to make money. And that's just the truth of it. So what we have at the moment is we have this wedge. So if you go on the 4-hour chart, draw this wedge. We had the little push up yesterday. We did not get past the 31,000, which I did say on Twitter. Make sure you are following me on Twitter, as I did do the update for you guys on CPI yesterday. Reason why I didn't go live, I didn't want to do a show saying that the market's going to go in one way or anything like that, and then CPI prints a big red candle or a big green one. I wanted CPI to come out. Let's see the news. Let's see how the market reacts. And then I wanted to give my analysis. But I did end up giving you guys a good, over here, a good update on CPI. So make sure you follow me on Twitter so you can get these updates when I'm not doing the shows at the time. And what basically happened was we ended up having small little wick to the upside. This is why when you have these wedges, focus on candle closes outside of them. And you could see we just pushed. We never got past the 31. We came down and ultimately we bounced at $30,200. Now, what this means for us is it basically means higher low is still in play. Technically, on a smaller time frame, you're still in an uptrend. You're still bullish at the moment. As soon as we start to lose this support trend over here, it means you're starting to get lower lows and lower highs, which means ultimately shorter time frame, you start to get bearish. Then you start getting to the major bearish line. If we lose that, we got to start prepping for possible 20-30%. But until this line is broken, we are not thinking like that. We are going to be ahead, and we're going to, if the market is still remaining bullish and remaining in the bullish trends, we're going to remain bullish within that so that we can be early on the breakouts. And ask those who got the MATIC breakout. We got this perfect. There was the break. I told you guys about the retest, got the retest, and that's absolutely exploding. So now is the time to be focusing on making money. Now, what I want to see on Bitcoin on the shorter time frame now is what the wedge also does is it also gives you a little bit of a time frame of how long it's going to go sideways for. So, for example, you could see there is not too much time. In the next 2 days, Bitcoin's going to have to make a decision, because what it's going to do is if it decides to go up here now, then down, it's going to get to the end of the wedge. And when it gets to the end of the wedge, one of these lines will break. So at any moment now, one of these will break. So what I would like to see in the bullish scenario, I would like to see this go up, probably a small rejection, and I would like this to pop through. When this does happen, what I think in this time over here, I think the altcoins pump. I think they pump really hard, actually. And then as soon as Bitcoin starts to break this major level, I think they stop. They stop and Bitcoin goes solo. But Bitcoin runs solo. It absolutely really pushes hard to the upside. All focus goes on Bitcoin until Bitcoin settles down again. Now, the areas of where Bitcoin could settle down is basically these major areas that you'll focus on the weekly chart. You have the first one, which is more or less the area of around the 35 to 36. This could be an area of where it slows down. Remember, slowing down means two things. It either means that it's going to slow down and offloading is going to happen. So it means it's getting to an area now where big money wants to start, offloading and start selling. Or what happens is it goes sideways and they distribute money into altcoins and they get altcoins to catch up. So you just want to focus on, okay, if I'm going to get like a little altcoin push now, while this dominance is coming down shorter time frame, and then Bitcoin breaks out, to the upside, ultimately, when is the time again do I focus on alts? It will teach you just to be a little bit patient with your altcoins, because this is going to hog all the attention. It is going to definitely hog the attention. But the areas that you're going to focus on possible sidewaysness, 35 to 36, and then we have $46,000 as the target after that. Crazy levels. And never say never. Never say never that we don't end up going to 50K from this. Always just be prepared if that does happen. I don't like these guys that say it won't happen. That's a very wrong mentality in crypto. Anything can happen at any moment. So at the moment, like I said, the breakout level for me still is 31,000. For now, I see a little bit more upside. I see in this time, I see altcoins moving. Therefore, we're focusing on altcoins. Secondly, why are we focusing on altcoins? We're getting a lower high on the 4-hour, 8-hour, and 12-hour charts on the dominance. Now, you got to remember that dominance has been going up for a while. The whole cycle restarted, and we had it all start off with Bitcoin. But where it is fighting at the moment is all of this resistance over here. You got this resistance, and you have the 200 weekly moving average, which I think I do have over here. Let's see if I do have it. 200 daily. I'll show you guys here quickly. Let's go into inputs and let's put this on the weekly. 1 week. There we go. Okay, so let's just double check. Oh, that's the 200. There we go. Okay, so what you'll see as well is where this went. There we go. So there's the resistance there too. So firstly, you have this horizontal here, and you have a very, very, very important moving average that it's at this point, which means at any moment there can be a rejection to the downside, therefore strengthening altcoins. So what I've done is I've now zoomed in, and I'm like, okay, let's see what's happening. And what I can see over here is I do see a possible lower high at the moment. It's not getting past 618. So remember, whenever a token does something and starts to come to the downside, you want to focus on where this bounce goes, because if it goes higher high, it's still an uptrend. But if it makes a lower high, it does mean lower low after that. And the way you do that is you take your Fibonacci and you take it from top to bottom, and you want to see if it gets past the 618 or not. And if it gets past 618, it means it can make a higher high. And if it doesn't get past 618, it can mean lower low. So right now you can see on the chart, just on the right of it over here, we did not get past 618. Therefore showing weakness in dominance and a possible strong push to the downside within dominance. And this will release the altcoins. Now, guys, I want to remind you that we have these small levels, right? We do have the possibility of dominance just coming down a little bit and then a Bitcoin push through and it starts to fly. But you got to also remember that this could literally come down here. And if this does happen, a move like this, you'll see altcoins double. You'll see altcoins double within a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You'll see a lot of growth that comes at different points. So what you want to do and what you want to make sure of is you want to make sure that you have your tools. Let's just see if this is all ready. There we go. So remember what I was explaining about these moving averages, having all of these major moving averages. I just want to see if they're all here. Let's have a look. Oh, these moving averages. You got the 200 daily, you got the 20, and you got the 50. And remember, you just want to make sure that if you see a coin is breaking out on the smaller time frames now, you want to go to the weekly and you just want to go see how big could this move be. You want to see, is this coin in a bull market or in a bear market? Like, how long should I realistically hold this trade? Because the big problem that we have is I don't think we all struggle to make money. I really think all of us can make money in this market. We're just really terrible at taking profits and getting out. Like, that's the big thing. We all know that this market can give us money. That's why you're still sitting here, because you've seen a bit of the green side. And therefore you stay a lot in that hope that you know what this market can do. And that's why you still stay alive and why you want to be here, because you know what it can do when it goes bullish. So end of the day, when you see any of these coins breaking out on 4-hour, 8-hour, 12-hour charts, you want to go pop out quickly and go see where you are on the major indicators. For example, let's go with NEA. So yes, NEA, I'm looking at calling NEA, and I'm speaking about NEA today because I think NEA is breaking some good trends. I really do. And ultimately, I might even be breaking this weekly trend over here. As you could see, breakout and retest. So therefore looking bullish. But when I go to the weekly, it's showing that this run could possibly just run to this major MA over here, which is a great trade. You're still looking at 70%, but it is telling me to TP. It is telling me to TP after 50 to 70% will be the areas. So I'm starting to get an understanding of how big this trade can be, but I want to know whatever trade or whatever coin I'm buying now, do I hold it for the whole bull market, or am I taking profits on the trade that I'm taking now? Like that's the thing. Like, what coins do we hold from now till the end, or for the next run, and what coins do we TP early? And that comes down to your MAs, guys. Any of them that have had the 3 crosses, so very similar to Bitcoin, where you've had all 3 of these crossing to the upside, they technically going into bull market phase. You could possibly hold them throughout the whole of that run. But any coins that are not doing that yet, it's just showing you that you're going to make great money on this token short time frame. But it is probably likely that this thing's not in a full bull just yet. So don't be afraid to take profits within that coin on the way to the upside. So now that I've said that, it's very important. You got your short-term strategies. You're going to make money, but you want to know how long do I hold these tokens for? And that's it. Just go take your token, go look at it on the daily, look at it on the 4-hour, be like, it looks bullish right now. Just pop onto the weekly quickly and just put those moving averages in. And just be like, has this thing crossed? Like, are we on a bull trend, or is this just a short-term way to make money? Because you got to remember that these altcoins have come down 70, 80, 90%. So don't be surprised if they do a 300% pump now. It still means they're 70% down from the highs, guys. So it doesn't mean like it's just recovering and going back, but you can make 300% on these trades. That's the crazy thing about understanding. So you just want to set yourself up again with the tools that you need to know how long do I hold trades within the bull market? What do I do to keep holding? When do I worry? All of these things. I'm here and I'm going to show you guys as much as I can every day. But at the end of the day, you got to just have these tools, guys. Protect yourself. You are the boss. You are the bank. So let's go look at some trades quickly. So the first one is MATIC. So what I want to do over here, I see short time frame. MATIC is now moving really good, great breakouts. And now I want to look at the levels of where MATIC can be going. So what you want to do is you want to pop in your little stairs. There's the low. So the first possible TP on your MATIC trade can be around 83 cents. Then you have your next one here, which is $1. And then you have your next one there, which is basically the 1.17 sort of areas. So you're starting to get the understanding. Now, if we look at it from our entries over here, first trade, great, 15%. You got a possibility of 40, and you got a possibility of 70% too. So what you want to see, this is how you're going to trade it. You want to pop in your RSI. Okay. So you see this daily, this 8-hour RSI at the moment. So what's happening now is RSI came down for a little bit on the red, and then all of a sudden you got an explosion in this token. Okay. Now, if now let's say MATIC goes up and it gets to this trend, and RSI turns over here and goes up, that's probably a good time to TP. Probably a good time to TP because your RSI is getting to the top and you're at resistance. So don't be afraid to take profits because you can buy it on a support retest. Okay. But if it goes up like this and it gets to this area and this RSI is only just crossed, there's still strength within that. And it's still showing that there's more of this to go up. Therefore, this could do this and go to the next one. And if it goes through this to the next one, and your RSI came down, and your RSI is here, and you're at this one, it's saying it's still got strength and it can still do this one. So what you want to just pay attention to whenever you get good trades now is if a horizontal, like a good resistance horizontal line, and your RSI is at the top, take profits. Take profits, no problem, because you're selling into resistance. And never, ever, ever be afraid to sell into resistance. Because worst scenario is, let's say price goes up over here, and let's say RSI gets to the top, and let's say you sell because now your RSI and you're at horizontal, and let's say it goes up more, guys. Guess what? After that, this will come back down a test at some point. This RSI will reset, and you can get straight back in where you got out. The difference is this time is you're on a bottom RSI. You're buying on support. You're learning to sell into resistance and buy on supports. So when it comes to MATIC, I think MATIC's got a lot of upside. At the moment, RSIs are looking good. We can go see 12 hours crossing at the top to the upside. Let's go see daily getting near the top. Let's go see weekly, just crossed from the bottom. Whatever entries you got here, I do think that this MATIC position over here, non-leverage, spot and long-term runs, I do think this could possibly go back to 1.2, if not the 1.5. So MATIC is looking really strong at the moment, especially on the high time frames, which means that this token at the moment firstly held a very important weekly support, which was really good, and its weekly RSIs at the bottom. You know, this could be a token that you don't have to work hard for your money. You can get good entries now and you can hold. And that's ultimately it. And when this weekly RSI gets to the top, you can start TPing out. It's just about which coin should I work hard for and which ones are going to make me money very easily. And it's about knowing the difference between the two. So let's quickly go through Solana at the moment. I am still holding a Solana position. I did get stopped out yesterday, but I re-entered the trade this morning. $1,300 in profit at the moment. I'm hoping Sol. So looking at the Sol trade at the moment, let's just see why this is not coming up. There we go. So what I have is this little 4-hour wedge at this moment. We bounced perfectly on support. We had an RSI reset at the bottom over here. And ultimately from here, I'm looking at this get through this major area, which is the $22 zone. And I do think from here, Solana will go to the areas of 26. If it gets to that top, the $26, $27 area, and the weekly starts getting to the top, I'll probably start TPing in at that zone. But if the RSI is still healthy by the time we get there and we break through that level, we've just got entries that we can ride to $40 to $60 within Solana. So Solana is looking very strong shorter time frame, but where it really gets strong is when it gets through the 26, 27 zone. If you are looking at any buys on Solana, it's only short-term buys at the moment, but any long-term buys, I'd still be patient to see if we get through here, because if we don't get through here, I still think you got $20, if not $18 to get some entries on the long-term frame. But smaller time frame, it's a very bullish coin, and I wouldn't be afraid of trading it on the smaller time frames, as it is one that's breaking big structure. The next one, guys, I gave the trade yesterday. It's just gone. I was hoping to have time to give it to you guys again. I think spot is still fine, but leverage no. Is GRT. So GRT for me, waking up, I think it does fall under AI narrative. We're going to start paying a bit of attention to the AI narrative at the moment. It looks like those tokens are waking up. But this for me, spot is a great entry, and it's looking very bullish. Like it's breaking the short-term trend over here. And what I like about it is it's possibly going to go test the top trend over here. Now, what's good about this, and I called this yesterday on Run Show, what's good about this is you even have the possibility of that happening. And that's the thing. You're basically playing your cards right now, and you know that there might be a short-term TP. You know, end of the day, that is a 15, 20% trade from where we're at the moment. So you're still going to make money. But what you also got to have in your back of your head, that Bitcoin can break 31. And if it does break 31, it might go to 40. And if that happens, you might be getting yourself on entries here that can end up doubling to tripling your money. So GRT is one of those that are looking strong. If I had to enter this trade right now, I would not leverage it, as it's a little bit gone for the short-term leverage trades. But I would spot it, and I'd probably spot it between now, which is the 11 cents 50, and the 12 cent mark would be my entries. My stop losses will be around 11.3, 11.4. So it's probably around 3% stop losses. And my take profits will be around 15-20%, around the 14-cent mark would be. But definitely one of the stronger coins right now. The next one for me, I think, is in great position. Just popped out the box. But so leverage is gone. I'm sorry. It was there just now. I promise. It was there just before we were about to do the show. But spot is still good. Spot, I'd still be looking at entering NEAR. NEAR got extremely hammered in the bear market really hard. And again, like I don't like a coin that, firstly, it survived, still got good teams, still got good fundamentals, but it got really bullied. And, you know, anything that gets really bullied, at some point they come and they fight back. So I am expecting NEAR to wake up really strong and to shock the crypto market a little bit at some point. And I think this is a really good entry at the moment, which is basically between the 1.32 and the 1.35 as my entries. My stop loss will be around 1.3. So really nice risk to rewards at the moment. Where do I think it goes? I think on the short time frame, I really think it can go to the areas of 1.7 to 1.8. So it's a good 30-35% move. And then what I was saying, very similar to GRT, is that you may end up breaking the main trend on this push too. So it has tested 3 times before. And if this goes here and gets through, again, you know, you could end up riding this thing back to $5, $6, $7, $8. And that's what it comes down to. So I would be focusing on this on maybe a little bit of long term. I still think it's cheap long term. And spot trading, definitely NEAR as looking as one of the strength tokens. Then what we had a Fantom wake up on the shorter time frame. So I think this could be a leverage trade for those who want to leverage. Very little leverage though, as it has started to wake up. But what you can see on the smaller time frames is it got a little bit hammered the other day. There was that hack. There was a little bit of FUD within Fantom. And what it did is it came down, it made this temporary top, which was resistance, you know, the previous lows. And we're breaking that now, which ultimately means a few things. It means that we're either going to go make another lower high, which is still 20% away. So that's a good short-term trade. Or if you zoom out slightly, you could see that Fantom actually broke a very important trend a few weeks back. And this could be the push that takes it back to 40 cents. So why 40 cents? Because it's my main, what moving average is this? There we go. That's my main trend line, my main trend. So remember, you want to know where your token could possibly go. Go look at the next major trend. Go look at the next major horizontal. So this trade over here, I'd probably be looking at entering it in these areas of around the 28 cent plus minus mark. Around about 27 cents is my stop, and 40 cents is my TP. It might end up being bigger, the TP, we shall see. But when it comes to that, you're probably risking around about, if I take this to 7, around about 4%, which means any leverage, just be very careful. So maybe 3x's or 2x's would be good. No financial advice would be good. But when it comes to reward, look at your risk to reward. So Fantom definitely gaining strength on the shorter time frame at the moment. Then when it comes to spot, guys, I kind of feel like it's either going to happen now where we're going to have another massive render pump. And look at this. This is still in buy zone for spot. So, you know, I would have a stop loss around the 1.83 sort of area. But I think render, if this is where render wakes up and does what it's been doing for this year, you got to remember that this token started off at 40 cents. It has been to $8 before. If it's going to remain in that bullish state, this is where it's going to bounce really hard. It's going to bounce from these areas. You might see it slow down a little bit around 2.2, 2.3. But once you get through that, it is indicating, you know, $3 to $3.5 as the take profit levels at the top. So that's a good 70-80%. And I like the risk to reward. So remember, you want to take your tool over here, your long position tool. You want to say, okay, I'm going to buy now. I'll put my stop loss here, which is 7%. This is why it's a good spot trade, not a leverage trade. You can zoom in if you want and get short-term breakouts, but I'm looking at 70% as my reward. So render, again, it's just woken up. It's on the perfect support. It's literally on the support of the whole year of the upside. If there's no better time to buy, it is on support. And you put your stops under the previous low because you have 2 options here. This thing's going to absolutely go wild and you're going to get a perler entry, or it's going to drop it. You're going to get stopped out, but you're going to buy it back at $1. And that's the thing. Never be afraid to buy on comfort, because if you do get stopped, you know you're buying it a lot further back. And you're no longer going to ever be afraid of stop losses if you know you can buy back cheaper. And what does buying back cheaper mean? It means that there's more gains to the upside when it eventually does go back up. So you're just paying a lot of attention when it comes to the how cheap can I get the token. And then again, guys, I still feel that as long as Bitcoin's holding the steady, market's very bullish at the moment. And I still feel we're going to see a mega Doge pump. I really do. So I wouldn't be playing too much on leverage until it has broken this trend, but definitely spots on long term. This one, I think you can literally have stops around 6 cents, 6.1. You don't need to have crazy percent stop losses, but I do think there's possibly another 3-4 days. And if this plays the way I think it's going to play out, you're going to have a little bit of push here, and then I seriously think we're going to have like this. And like, I don't know, like don't call me like, this may be an Elon tweet. I don't know. Elon tweet something. You remember the chart always shows you something before the news. So ultimately it's showing that it's getting to like this crazy resistance when it comes to the higher time frame. And look at this. This is a really good period down. And you got to remember that this was the lows. So when it comes to support, it's at the perfect support right now. And what we like about Doge is it doesn't do anything for a long time, and then it does a lot in like a week. And then it doesn't do anything for a long time, then does a lot for like a week. So Doge again, you got the richest man behind it. And I think there's a mega pump here. So if you weren't early on the Solana, you weren't early on the MATIC, you weren't early on these tokens, I still think you can be very early on the Doge. So this, for me, I don't know, like I would hold a small percentage as long term, but I would TP on the pump, because I think my two areas on the pump is the 10 cent, if not the 15 cent mark. So I'm looking at a really good, 50 to 100% trade here. And I think it happens quick. And then again, if it does decide to break that, you can have Doge going back to 30 cents, 40 cents, and then you got yourself an incredible entry. So I think you're still early on Doge, and pay attention to it. Cool. We have DOT. There's my drawing on DOT. So it's just out of buy zone now, but anyone holding DOT, it's looking strong. I think we're going to just start passing some major levels within altcoins. I really do. So we had the breakout of the trend. We tested it beautifully. I think from here, we make a higher high, higher low, and then there's a big acceleration. So you're starting to see this within a lot of coins. That was Chainlink. Here's DOT. So here's DOT over here. So pay attention, because we got this major daily wedge over here at the moment. So you don't have to worry too much about buying DOT now, but what you do want to pay attention to is the breakout. Now, if it does break the 5.4 properly, it should rally to around 5.7, and then you really want that retest, because that could be the move that takes it back to the $10, if not the start of the bull. So DOT, again, it's done absolutely nothing. We haven't heard anything. I don't even know if they're even building on DOT anymore. But what it is showing, that when this breaks, you start to find out news, you start to find out what's happening, all of these things. So pay attention to that. You see 𝗬𝗿 really moving. It's about to break a big daily trend. So for me, it's too late to buy now, but same thing as DOT. Wait for the breakout, and we want those retests. We just want to confirm we are breaking these major wedges. And if this is so, 𝗬𝗿 can start making its way back to real levels, as in the $200 mark. So 𝗬𝗿 has definitely been strong on shorter time frames, and it might just become really strong on higher time frames too. One or two things I want to pay attention to quickly. We don't really have a big bounce within Ethereum and Bitcoin just yet, but we do know RSIs are getting down. So same thing for me. Yes, you can maybe bet on a little bit of a cheaper ETH. Maybe, save some cash in case you get a 1600 or 1400 ETH at any moment if Bitcoin does do the Bart Simpson. But I still think you're running out of time of building ETH. I would pay attention to it, because the fact that you've had this big drawdown within Bitcoin, at some point, firstly, we are between the 618 and the 786, which is golden zone. But at some point, you are going to have a push within ETH to Bitcoin, and you don't want to fall behind on ETH. I still definitely feel ETH is going to play a big run. Next one I'll look at over here quickly. Bitcoin Cash, obviously been doing incredible things. You see what I said, guys? The longer you accumulate, the bigger the result. You see that? So never ever be afraid of sideways anymore. Pay attention to sideways and fill your positions in sideways. Don't fill them when they're moving. And that's one thing you're going to learn a lot across this journey. So what you have over here, you have this 12-hour trend. We had like this sort of flag forming on Bitcoin Cash, and it is breaking. So what I have noticed is, firstly, Bitcoin Cash did break really important resistances for me. So it broke this major area over here. Is fighting it, but it's at that major area. And what it's showing is, if it gets through this level, there could be another push still to come from Bitcoin Cash. And therefore, this is why it's sitting on the tile of the show, as we could see another possibility of this running to the areas of $400. Now, I would not be buying Bitcoin Cash, but I know a lot of people are holding Bitcoin Cash. I would probably take 30% to 40% of my profits right here, right now. And I'll be leaving the rest, just dragging a stop loss up. for the $400 mark. So Bitcoin Cash getting to the point, but I do feel the money's going to shift. It's going to get past, you've had a lot of the altcoins waking up, as in Litecoin. I saw Litecoin also woke up this morning. Let's actually bring up Litecoin. Let's see where I did get it. Otherwise, don't get Litecoin there, please, bro. When you come up with Litecoin, let's see where Litecoin's at. A token I want to speak about again is THETA. Incredible entries, like incredible entries. It's about to break a daily trend. So if you pay attention to here, firstly, it's at the range bottom. It's literally at the level of the previous bull market, and it's looking to break daily trend at the moment. So for me, above the 78 to the 80 cent mark is a daily breakout of the end of today. My first target is 1.3. So the percentages are really big. But for me, I'm paying attention to long time frame, to be honest, because look where this token's been. Crazy token in the bull market. I still love it to bits. And so does 𝗪𝗎𝗍. 𝗪𝗎𝗍, I think this is probably the token we were buying the whole bear market. Whenever I send her money, I'm like, buy tokens. She buys this one and she buys a whole bunch of small caps. And we do buy Bitcoin and ETH. But, look at this. This for me, I still think is a life-changing entry. Yes, maybe there's a possibility of a 60 cents if Bitcoin goes down, but anywhere in these areas for me, they fall under 20x token for me in the bull market. I still think THETA breaks all-time high. I really do. I don't know by too much, but I do think it approaches those areas. And if so, that is a 25x to the up. So for me, I'm definitely long-term frame. I'm focused on it. I'm zoomed in now. It's at the range bottom, and it can be breaking daily trend. So pay attention there within THETA. Let's see if there's any others here. I see FTT. So I spoke about this yesterday. Guys, I don't see this token coming to use. Yes, the exchange might come back to life, but I don't see it. If there is any guys that are degens that like to short, what I have noticed is I've seen it's had this random pump now and then it always makes a lower high. And that's usually the good shorting period, as it usually comes all the way back down. So we've seen it now a few times. All that I'm waiting for now is maybe a little bit higher, around the $2 mark. And maybe there's a huge ass short for those who like shorting the market and playing that. Another token I was focused on is ALGO. Absolutely smashed me. I was buying this at 25 cents. But I'm paying attention to this trend. Because end of the day, when this trend breaks, yes, I can complain about where I bought previously and the money that I lost. But what I got to understand is if I bought this token at a certain point and it's 90% lower, it literally takes 10% of the cash to go buy the same amount of tokens. 10%. So if I put $1,000 into this previously, I just put 100 in now and I've doubled my tokens. I put in 300 and I have 4 times my tokens. So I'm paying attention to this daily breakout over here, as I do think this daily breakout can be a run back to 30 cents. So it's this major area here. So remember, do you see what I do? Guys, it's not just down. What people don't understand is you see me charting on the show, but you don't understand my mentality behind what I do. I prep what I'm doing next. So you can see I'm hot on Solana now. I'm hot on Fantom. I'm hot on AVAX. That's cool. But you can see how I'm already looking at Doge. I'm already looking at Algo. I'm looking at what am I doing in 2 weeks from now. I'm always a step ahead of the game. Always. You guys see a very small part of me in the day. You don't understand what I do so much for the rest of the day and how I prep and how I get ahead of these things. So yes, this may not be a trade right now, but this definitely has an alarm and definitely has me ready to make that when it goes. It is money mode. This is where you see me go beast and savage mode, that the bear market could have been going down. But one thing that I can do is I can make a lot of money when the market's going up. And the fact that I could take a couple $100 to a couple $1 million in the last bull market, you'll see what I do in the next one. And that's the mentality of it. It's just knowing that you're making money right now, but shifting your mindset back to what are you doing next, being a step ahead. Because the biggest mistake that a lot of people make is they never step for the plan ahead. So when they get there, they fumble. And therefore, they ruin their opportunity. They ruin that shot. That one opportunity. You never let it go. What's that? Eminem. It's very much that. Start preparing for the next step and what you're going to trade next. Because you're going to have to take. If Solana goes to $40 now, I'm out. But what am I trading next? That's the big question. Doesn't mean I'm out of trading, but it means I'm out of that token because it's right for me to get out of that token. And let's go look at the next one. At the moment, market does look pretty good. Dom, what's happening? I know I went through many. Went through a few of the ones you're going to go through, but just go, bro.
I've got a dino coin for you.
Yeah. Dinosaur coin. Okay?
Silver.
Tell me.
Check out the silver, bro.
Is it going to break it? Is it going to break it?
Dude, we traded this on the trend break.
You did it brilliantly, bro. You literally nailed that one. No, you really got it.
Here we go. I'm buying you lunch today, bro. There, I'm closing this trade right now. Look at this. It's MITP.
Yes.
Okay.
Close it.
Done. It's closed, bro.
Ah, guys, remember you got Primex BT.
Okay.
Go below if you want to trade silver and that with USDT. Go click the link below. Go open an account. You get sign-up bonuses. You get a whole bunch of stuff. But at the end of the day, you're able to trade stuff outside of crypto with crypto. So that's a great way to diversify.
And you know what? We just kept this simple, bro. I traded originally off the 200-day MA. Then we traded the break. We pushed straight into resistance. We out of this trade. Lunch is coming your way later today.
I'm going to make a call. I'm going to make a call. XRP. I'm calling XRP.
Let's look, bro. Let's look. XRP. It wasn't looking that exciting to me today. Let's see.
Yeah.
What do you want to go? You want to go big long?
I'm calling XRP. I'm calling XRP.
Oh, I got the same as you, bro. Mine looks exactly the same.
That's beautiful, bro.
Yeah.
I'm calling XRP.
Yeah.
I definitely.
Yeah, look at mine. Look at mine. It's the same.
Okay, show me.
I just did it. I prepped it this morning. It's magic. Huh?
Okay, I'm gonna call this. Let me go get it on Twitter. Let me do it. So before the other influencers do it, let me go and
something's happening here for sure.
XRP. That's gonna, bro. It held so well.
Again,
we know XRP army is ready.
Let's see.
Something's gonna possibly happen here. Okay. Yeah, show us what you got, bro.
So yeah, yesterday was quite a mixed day for us. I mean, in the morning we had so many alts pushing into key resistance areas. And, you know, I was feeling quite bullish. And then the CPI news came out. It was great. The other markets started ripping. I mean, silver started pumping, oil, the US markets, everything started running. And crypto was flat. And then we heard that there was the Silk Road FUD. There was some Gary Gensler FUD. And then, you know, if you look at these charts, like you were saying just now, you look at these charts, they actually tell you a story before what, you know, what's going to happen. And we had like FTM yesterday, which you've already spoken about, but just a classic example. It was sitting at resistance. It rejected. We had stacks sitting at resistance. It rejected. Okay. But they've all pulled back into very nice areas. So, you know, here's a stacks example that I spoke about the other day. It was a long of the 200-day MA. We've now broken out. We rejected. You'll probably find there's a fib here as well. Let's see where we rejected. Okay. We rejected a 618. Okay. The story was there. We were pushing resistance. Pulled back, perfect retest, and stacks is away. So if you guys were trading stacks, I mean, you've had two opportunities now, 200-day MA and this retest of trend. We had AVAX pulling back yesterday with the market. Pulled just into a 618. Nice little zone. Here's a 618. Hung around a little bit. Now we're pushing. We're looking for a trend break now in AVAX. If we get that break, we get a little retest, and then we can send AVAX again.
Yeah, I don't think everyone really understands like the entries we could be getting here. Me and you know, because we've hit these.
No, these are killer
alt rallies. Like they could be huge entries.
Look at some of these AI tokens. You know, we had Elon Musk talking about AI yesterday, and things started moving. Here's Fetch. It's now broken through resistance. So, you know, I've missed this one, unfortunately, but I'm looking for a little retest here.
Yeah, it does look like AI is waking up.
Look at AGIX, another one. Currently rejecting here, it's 786. But things are happening, okay? If we zoom out a little bit, you'll see there's a trend break here. So, yeah, I think we need to start looking for entries on these AI things, especially if this narrative is going to continue. Atom, nice little pullback yesterday, 382 bounce. Okay, looking at this trend now. So if you missed this bounce here, we're going to look at this one. Okay, and then our target is the next trend there for Atom. Link, I think you spoke about. Link is back in range. Okay, back in this range here. Tracking this target, 200-day.
Solana must pump more, man.
Well, Solana's sitting at this resistance.
Let's get through it, bro.
To break through. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
This market looks hot, eh? How's this? Looks pretty good.
So this is what we were saying about Sol yesterday. You know, it was sitting at this resistance area, but you know what? With all the pullbacks yesterday, Sol held really well. You know, ideally, what I want to see now is this break up.
Yeah, dude, it held well and it bounced perfectly on my stop loss. Like perfect. Like my stop loss was like the perfect support, bro.
Oh, bro, it's unlucky, but you're back in it and you're green. So you know, it's all good.
And I'm green.
It's all good. Injective.
Guys, pop in the chat. Do you want us to do us if we break a certain level? So if we break 31, like let us know. Do you want another live trading session? I think it'll be good. We hit another 2-3
We'll do
hour
it.
session soon.
Yeah.
But we jump on and
No,
we
we'll do it.
trade. We have fun.
So Injective, I don't know if you got Injective yesterday, but just pulled back into a horizontal support zone. It was just the most obvious area. You know, we had so much support here. So while that pullback was happening, you know, you just sit back, you relax, you wait, you catch it at these areas. Okay. So now we've got a head start on Injective. If you got it, wait for trend. Okay. Then it breaks, retest, and then we can go. And then our target is this, this high again up here, this 9. So I'm quite excited about that if it gets moving. Lido is an interesting one. Looking quite bearish the other day. We had this head and shoulders playing out. We had to push up rejection here. So now, critical area for me. We've got the trend break. Is it coming? You know, or are we rejecting now and we're going to complete this, you know, this head and shoulders here. And that could be an indication maybe of some more downside. So this is quite a key area for me, for Lido, that I'm watching right now.
It's just crazy how many alts there are. Like, there's just so many. And I think
there's
that's
so
it. You got to
many.
choose like your 3 favorites. You got to trade them, and then you shift. When you take profits on those, you go shift to the other ones. I think that's
so. I mean, so
that's
we
very
tracking like, I'm tracking 20 to 30 on the Banter Discord, guys. So it's there every day. If you go to the Crypto Banter Discord, these setups are there in this Discord every day. You'll see these charts, and then obviously we add, we take away as we go. But yeah, we're looking at these all day long. Check out the Banter Discord. You'll see these charts are there.
Yeah, it's in the description below, guys.
Yeah. So yeah, look, that's it from me, really. 𝗬𝗍𝗍𝗍 is breaking.
Again, we just got to wait for Bitcoin. Like, that's it. I would trade these alts that are breaking out, that you can catch perfectly, that you can put a great time stop loss. And we just wait. But again, like, you know, if we do have this rocket ship that breaks through this 31, like, I think these entries, like, we're going to make hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of percent. I think this is the time where you can make back so much. It looks good. It looks good. I was looking at it just now, actually, as a short term, like a spot trade.
Yeah. So I mean, there is a trend break here on the 4 hour, but I mean, you know, it's running a little bit here. So stops, you got to just balance your, you know, the size of your leverage. You know, you got to manage your risk clearly, obviously, but these are sort of stop areas I would look at. On 𝗬𝗍𝗍𝗍.
What's that stop? What are smallest percentages?
So the tightest one under this 4 hour is 1.84. Let's check what percent that is. That's 2%. Okay, so it has run
like a 3x, 5x.
Yeah. Next one, 4%, and then the big one, which we obviously would assume this would hold, 6.7, and this is quite a big support zone. So that's why I'm saying
maybe for long term. Yeah. Cool, my brother.
Cool, bro.
Appreciate it. So we've put your thingy below. Go follow Dylan on Twitter. It's now in the description below. It's the Lord of Entry. What did I say wrong the other day? I said Lord of Entry.
You said Lord of Entry. It's at the Lord of Entry.
It's at the Lord of Entry. Go. Come on, brother. Thank you so much.
Later, bro.
Okay, guys, again, we're at that major level. Let's stay confident. Let's stay positive. Let's be ready for the bullish move. Do me a favor, please. I need like 10 people, 20 people to go subscribe to my channel so we can get to 20,000, please. Because when I get to 20,000, I'm going to give some money away to the community that are part of it. So I need 10 or 20 more people, subscribers, to get me. Is it 10? 20. I need 20 more subscribers on my personal YouTube channel to get 20,000 subscribers. Thank you to all of you who have showed me support. Lots of love to you all. Remember, we have Sniper School. Go below, smash the registration button. I'm giving away $2,000, which is $400 to 5 people that register in the next week, but you have to use the link below. You have to use the registration link below. It will send you the steps of how you get Sniper School for free. Sad news, but this is the last cohort where the system might change, where it may not be free, firstly, or secondly, it may not be used on exchanges. And this is just like, you'll see why. We got to protect the company and regulation, all the stuff that's coming. So go below and join Sniper School before you run out of getting it either for free or for getting it very easy. Guys, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Much love, man.